Hi friends, I hope you're having a great weekend. Thought we would have a shave together. I am feeling a little rough. It's not too bad, but probably time to get rid of some of this stuff. Let me get my face wet. I found that for me, using a pre-shave cream like Proraso White seems to really help. I was having significant trouble getting my beard hair, even though it's not incredibly thick. The hairs themselves are very wiry, and I was having trouble getting them properly softened and moistened. And as it turns out, just putting some pre-shaving cream on really makes things easier. And I'm pretty liberal with it. It's not super expensive. It's not incredibly cheap either. But it helps me enjoy my shave so much more that I just decided that I would be liberal with it. Don't worry about it. And get more when it runs out. So and this has been going for months. I think it's about, I don't know, $20, something like that. 18, 20 bucks. And I realize it certainly isn't the right product for everyone. And some men won't need it at all. I just found that for me, in order to get a really smooth shave and one that was comfortable, this became a really necessary step for me. All right, let me get this off my hands and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm going to use Declaration Grooming Sellout today. I typically use CBL. I just think Chris does an amazing job. I love all of his stuff. But I had on Creed Aventus earlier, and this is, I think, a dupe of that. And so that's what I'm going to use. So yeah, I always use an Omega 48 bore. And I load it very much the way the Italians do. I try to get it where it has only a little bit of water in it. And then I just run my brush around in it. I try to keep the hair spread open so it's really loading well. And yes, it is true, I always end up having significantly more soap than I need, but it's nice to have extra, especially if you're doing 3 or 4 passes, or on that 4th pass if you were using flat blading or buffing, that sort of stuff, so that you still have plenty of lather. So I take my brush now that it's loaded, and dip it in water. Again, sort of a very Italian way of doing it. And then I begin working it with my fingers just to get some lather started. Now this soap is really soft, and so it's not uncommon that you'll have some little pieces of it that will still be in there. And then I actually start working it right away. My God, this smells good. Oh, I'm a sucker for Aventus. that and acqua di what is it? Acqua di Portofino, Sandolo, which is their sandalwood fragrance, or the smell of summer for me. Now in a moment I can tell that this is going to be slightly dry, so I will go ahead and get a little more water in my brush just to loosen things up a little bit. And yes, it's going to slop a little, and I can hear Barber Dave now saying, well, if it's not slopping around and you're not getting it everywhere, you're probably not doing it right. And I have found that to be true. If you're not slinging it around a little bit, it might be too dry. Now you may love yours dry, and let me say, I'm not here to tell you how to do it. That is the last thing I'm doing. There are so many of you out there who are more experienced, have better ideas than I have, and can pass on knowledge to others, and the last thing you need is somebody like me coming along and pretending to be an authority figure. I know what I know, but I am still in the stage of learning, and I'm grateful to so many people from the shaving cadre and other places who have helped me along this journey. I can say, as it does probably for most people, did not start out very well, but has since gotten, I went ahead and dipped just a little bit more water in it to open it up just that little bit more, particularly over here on this side. It was feeling and looking a little dry, and as I said, I always end up with more soap than I need, but I'm pretty liberal with applying it, especially on this first pass, and especially if I have heavy growth. That also makes a difference for me. Now, this is where Barber Dave gave me some advice that I mean, he gave me a lot of advice, and most of it I still use. But to gently dip the tips of the brush in and then brush over the area. I think Barber Dave, the way he loads and proto-lathers and such, that he dips 3 times, usually once or twice for me, is enough. But use the right number for you. That's the point. Is that no matter what works for me, what works for Barber Dave, what works for Nurse Dave or anybody else, those are amazing places to start, and we each have to have a place to start our journey. And then I have modified slightly just to suit my own shaving habits, and what works best for me. Clean up my neck a little bit. There. Today I'm using a Henkel's Friodur 70.5. It's a fantastic razor, and I absolutely love it. From the 70s, I would assume. I don't know that for a fact. I start cross-handed. Come over on this side. The little sweeping move I do there, right here, just tends to cut my hair a little better because of its growth pattern. I have turned out to be a guy who doesn't rinse because I live here in the deep south, and humidity being what it is, my razors end up with really bad water spots on them if I continue to rinse. And so wiping on a towel, again, very much in the Italian style, has turned out to work better for me. Rinsing, quite frankly, would be easier. But I've just found that it doesn't, that it's just not good for my razors. Now, luckily, this one, it wouldn't matter because it's an Inox, but I have just gotten in a habit of using a towel for all of them. My hair growth is so odd on my neck. It is almost 100% with the grain is this way and against the grain is that way. I have a few random hairs that grow up and down, but it is mostly side to side, and that really proved to be problematic. And the truth is that sometimes I still struggle to really get BBS down here. And I guess in some ways, not that I've given up, it's just that's not the primary thing for me anymore. I thought it would be when I started this journey. But it's just not, and that's okay. Part of the beauty of this journey is that each of us get to decide, right? We get to decide what's best for us and how we want to continue. Okay. All right. So now I am going to rinse my face, just get some water on it. And that way I can start number 2. And this stuff that's here in my beard, a lot of that will get the bottom part of my Van Dyke will get redistributed onto my face, so that I have a nice slick layer even before I put the rest of my lather on. I also use that hair, by the way, right here. If you noticed when I started, right in there, even though I don't shave that area, I use that hair actually to help lather. That turbulence of going through there also helps to create lather, I found, at least on my face. And so that's the reason I do that. I don't know if it's right. Although I get the sense, and somebody may correct me, I get the sense that shaving, like lots of things, is not so much a set of absolutes and rights and wrongs. There are a few absolutes, but by and large, it seems to be find what works for you, and so that's one of the great things. is that yeah, we may all start out with some basic fundamentals, but then we each get to write our own shaving story. We get to find our own way, and that's great. So while my face is still wet, I am going to take my shaving brush. I'm going to dip just about half in. I'm not going to get it too wet, because I want to get a layer of lather on while I still have, while that slick from the previous shave and the water that I just put on is still on there. I appreciate all the other people who post shaving videos that really demonstrate your technique. So many of them have been very helpful to me. And I, like everybody else, sort of had to get, 100 shaves under my belt before my face didn't look like a cut up mess. Lots of red fluid was shed between there and here. That's what I can say. And some of you who received desperate emails and messages from me about help know that I wondered, would the day ever arrive, maybe I was just not meant to shave with a straight razor. Turns out I do very well, but I was impatient and a perfectionist, and the learning curve hurt sometimes, and the easy answer would have been to have given up. I'm glad I didn't. I can't say what's right for you or what's right for somebody else. Maybe I should have, would have given up, and that would have been okay. For me, I dipped just the tips in the water again. For me, I'm very glad that I stuck with it, because the truth is, this, I don't know what it's going to be, 20 or 30 minutes out of my day is so relaxing now. The smell of the products, the making of lather. As many of you know, I own a small tobacco pipe and cigar accessory business. And I started smoking a tobacco pipe when I was 15. And I am a putterer by nature. And so I think all of this process-oriented stuff just really appeals to me. Okay, how about pass number 2? For me, pass number 2 starts from my neck. Oops, I didn't clean up, did I? Oopsie. Starts from my neck and works up. And I have to go, rather than straight up, I go this way and that way, and then the next pass I'll go this way and that way. I'm not sure what's going on in the other part of my house. It sounds like my partner brought the Great Dane a new squeaky toy. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I said, I'm going to close the door, keep Finnegan out here, and you guys try to be quiet. And what does he do? I'm positive he's given him a new toy that's got a squeaker in it. All right, so okay. Oh man, put my hand right in the wiping lather. Try to get that off. There we go. And then I'll do this side. And with having a rounded tip on a razor, of course you do still have to be very careful. But you're not as likely, unless Barber Dave corrects me, you're not as likely to jab yourself in the ear when you're getting in close in this, I don't know what is, pre-auricular probably. I think this is the auricula, pre-auricular is there, I suppose. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. Any ear ENTs out there? Correct me if I'm wrong. All right, again, same thing. Let's rinse and relather. Got plenty of suds right there that I can mix with water and just make a really slick slurry. Really helps everything glide. Right. Same thing. I will dip my brush. This time I'll go all the way into the water, and I don't let it drain out. I keep it in there, and then I start lathering again. Notice I'm using my fingers to spread the brush out. Again, that's kind of an Italian thing. I don't know that they originated it. I'm not saying that. I just, a lot of Italian barbers do that. And it helps me get the most out of the lather, or the lather out of the brush, I should say. So as you can see, not bad for a third pass, particularly when or the lather for a third pass, when I'm putting it on quite thickly. And I still will have one little pass left where I will flat blade my neck. But this pass, of course, is far less cutting or far less bulk removal, and is primarily, if not all, cleanup at this point, which is really nice. As you can see, still got some lather in there. Not a ton, but enough that that fourth pass will be easy to do without having to reload or anything. As that has happened before. And that's why I was like, it's just soap. I'll overload so that I don't have to go back into the puck and reload if I run out. So as I told you, this time I will go in this direction. So I always start over here and come across. And that is the only way I have found that I can get a really, really slick shave. And then I start over here. Go very lightly back in and just clean up. I got a little weeper right there. That's okay. It happens. And then I'm just going to rinse one more time, and then primarily I'm going to concentrate that last little bit down here on my neck. Again, just slick up best I can. Dip into my mug of water again. So I am primarily worried about, or not worried, but concentrating on my neck and those areas right there. And there's enough residual slickness and enough added with that last little bit of lather that I should be just fine. And so then I'm going to flat blade. Okay. And that feels very nice, actually. Very, very nice. And that's it. That is all. Let me get this lather off of my razor. Then I will finish cleaning it up in a little bit, but let me get the rest of this off of my face, get some alum on, and some Thayers. Okay. Alum block. Some little bit of electricity, but not much. So then I rinse my block off, and while that's percolating, I will go ahead and rinse out my mug and brush, and then I will be right back. All right, alum is off. Skin is ready for aftershave and some snail mucin. So I'm going to use Thayer's Unscented. Again, I'm pretty liberal with it. That. Give it just a minute to dry. And then a little bit of snail mucin all-in-one cream. And yes, I am saying snail, and it is derived from the mucus of snails. And that will do. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will hopefully see you soon. Bye.